All right, Norway are out. Italy is through. I want to say that I'm surprised with the result, but honestly, I am not very surprised by that. Norway. What do you even say about they won with 9 points, so you can't say it was a complete failure for Norway. And they've made it farther here than they did at more recent tournaments, I guess. But still, I feel like there's going to be a greater sense of frustration and disappointment for Norwegians than there is going to be happiness with the tournament. It'll be easy to look at this and view it as simply a failing from Norway, and in many ways it is, but also that does kind of miss out on how massive this is for Italy, one of the premier nations in the women's game at one point in time. That time was quite a long ways away now, but in the 90s, Italy was actually one of the very best in women's football. So this is huge for them. I believe first semi-final since 1997, and I think like Italy is slowly but surely moving in the right direction now. They had that pretty poor World Cup where they were beaten by South Africa to the knockout stage, but they've professionalized their domestic league, and that is slowly bearing its fruit. They've got a pretty decent team. They played better against Spain than Belgium and Portugal did, so it's not like they are pushovers or anything. But they also weren't supposed to go this far, I don't think. In some ways, you kind of ride your luck. You can only beat what's in front of you, and Italy, to some degree, did kind of get that luck in their favor. Because, sure, they had Spain in their group, but they also had a very beatable Belgium and Portugal. Not to say those are easy nations to beat by any means, but Italy did, it could have been harder. They still, though, knocked them out. And then Norway, who were probably the weakest of the group winners in the finals, but still not an easy team to beat. And the fact that Italy are in the semifinals is really big. That is a massive achievement for them, and I don't want to take that away from them because that is massive. Huge congratulations to Italy. And also with that second goal, some talk we made of the header, and it was a nice header, but oh my goodness, that cross was beautiful. Like just a brilliant cross in or the headed goal, and euphoria for Italy. Like what a wonderful moment for them, and well and truly deserved. Norway's an odd thing. Like sometimes you will have some of the very best players in the world, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out. I know this pain all too well as an American watching the USMNT go, where in theory there's a lot of players who should be doing really well for us. In theory, they've really never had a generation as good as this one, or at least not as many players playing at a high level as this, with people in the championship, with people in Serie A, Bundesliga, and they're doing really well in those leagues, and yet for whatever reason, it just isn't working right now with the national team. And I wonder if that's something that the Norway women's team might have as well, where you have some of these generational talents, and not just uh good players, but world class, like Ballon d'Or winner and runner up type players, Champions League winners, uh very high profile players, and yet for whatever reason it just isn't working. And sometimes that happens. It's really frustrating, and you feel like it should be working, and yet on paper things don't always end up working as they should on paper. So even though Norway should have this really good team, for whatever reason it just isn't working, and sometimes that happens. They've been doing this thing throughout the tournament where they aren't very good in the first half, and then kind of eventually figure out that they actually do have a bunch of world class players and they are a pretty good football team, and then they start to put things together in the second half. And I had fully assumed that was going to be what was going to happen in this match, because Norway finally seemed like they were clicking about in the 60th minute. They started to really put some things together, and so they were doing really well there, got the goal, and I thought for sure they were going to go on and win this, and maybe it won't be that deserved of a win, and maybe they wouldn't be able to play like that against Sweden or England, but they might still have enough to get past Italy, but they didn't, and they didn't deserve to. Italy were the better side in the game, and Italy played really well. I doubt Italy are going to be able to beat Sweden or England, but even so, I don't think they have to for this tournament to be viewed as a huge, just massive success. And I'm really happy for Italy. I'm glad that they get to have that, and I wish them the best. I'd love to see them in the final, even if I doubt that's going to happen. But they've more than earned their place in the semifinals, so a massive congratulations to Italy.